All right, guys, what is going on? We are live. Everything seems to be coming through okay. Kevin, how's it going? Great to see you here. Let's get it on indeed. How's everyone doing today? Hope you are all doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. It is Monday. Back to work. I mean, we're working all the day, all day anyways, all day, every day, which is kind of funny from the podcast that I just filmed with with one of my guests, just talking about working and working all the time. So kind of apt. Always working, always trying to figure out how to make that $1 million, right? Which is what we're doing here. So today, what I thought we would do, since it's still on schedule for next week to launch our brand new podcast, super excited about that. So I thought it'd be kind of good to maybe, because I had to do a couple tutorials just to remember how to do these multicam editing and stuff like that. So I figured I'd just show you guys my process that I have set up so far as to how to get everything set up to edit a multi-camera and multi-guest, I guess, podcast episode. So in Davinci Resolve. So if it's any other software, I can't help you. But in Davinci Resolve, maybe we can, I don't know, work some magic here. So with all that being said, let me just go ahead and just jump right in here. And we're going to get into Davinci Resolve here. So there's a podcast here that I've already started editing here. Well, it's already kind of already cut up, at least the initial edit here. Crazy. It's like 2 hours, almost 2 hours long. But anyways, we're going to go over a new one here from scratch. So I have here, hopefully you guys can see this okay. So I have here this in my folder. So this is the entire, these are all the files. So we have 3 video files and 2 audio files. So for just that 3 camera setup. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into here. With Stephanie, and we're going to go ahead and just drag in the assets here. Okay, so what we're going to do, I totally can't remember. Yeah, instead of putting these on the timelines and just cutting them up within the timeline, we're going to create this multi-camera clip, which basically makes one clip based out of all the different items, I guess, in the items in the clip. So okay, let's just, I don't think I'm very good at explaining this because I'm still trying to wrap my head around this, but okay, here we go. So I'm going to select these 3 files here. I guess, should I select the audio? No, we don't have to worry about the, because we need to sync the audio. Shoot, and I forgot to do my clap sync, which kind of sucks. Yeah, let's bring the audio in just for now and see what we can do. Okay, so we're gonna right click on all of those and we're gonna click create new multicam clip using selected clips. Okay, so we're gonna do that and we're just gonna name this I don't know, multicam clip. And we're gonna sync it by, we want that metadata for the camera. So I haven't do that yet. Okay, hang on a second. We're going to cancel this. We're just going to go here real quick. Okay, so I'm going to look at this clip here, right? This is the wide angle. So we're going to call this one camera angle 1. So we're going to go into file and camera. This is going to be camera 1, just in the metadata here. And this here, that angle is on me. So we're going to call that one camera 2. And then this angle on the guest, we're going to call this camera angle 3. Okay. Now we'll go back in, select them all, multicam clip, and actually we'll just do the podcast number and angle name in the camera. And we don't want to move any clips, we're fine where it is. And we're going to create. Okay, so now we have this multicam clip created. We're going to just go ahead and double click on it. Or no, not double click. We want to open it in timeline. So this is a timeline of these clips here. So something really crappy happened in this clip, and it happened in my first episode. For whatever reason, my one camera, it just died after like 30 minutes. Really, really annoying. So I'm not sure. I need to do something about that. Either get a new camera or, yeah, I don't know. I just need to figure it out. Oh, yeah, Mike, yeah, it looked really comfortable. That was legit right at the end when he said goodbye. And he just kind of put his hands up and was just lounging. So yeah, we strive here at the Unconventional Mindset to make everyone feel like they're home. Okay, so we're gonna go on all of these. We're gonna select them all, and we need to line them up to make sure that our audio and everything is all in sync. So we're gonna try to see if we can auto align these clips based on the waveform. All right, so let's sync that up. Hopefully this goes okay. It's doing its thing here. Okay, perfect. So I don't know if you saw everything kind of just move there a little bit. So everything looks like it's aligned, which is super, super nice. So we'll just move all this to the beginning, and we're gonna just try playing this here for a second, see what we hear. Hang on.
How did you get into this? No. So, okay, first of all, I was not blessed with the gift of being able to spell. So you're kind of like a numbers person or a words person. The words came from...
Okay. Everything sounds okay. I mean, there's going to be lots of levels and stuff to play around with here. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it's probably pretty low because I could see that the levels here are pretty low. Well, one thing we can do actually, just for right now, just while we're playing around, I'll do different audio than that, but or we'll actually go into Fairlight to do the audio, but for now.
Teachers used to force you to read out loud, and I would like skip ahead to like the paragraph that I thought I would be based on her rotation.
When you're going to get called in, it's like, yeah, you're cutting. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Okay, so that's coming in a stereo, so it's mono. So those are little things that we'll fix up later, but it's not a really big deal at all right now. Okay, so everything's lined up, and basically what we want to do is we want to go in here. We want to create our new timeline. So this is going to be our timeline where we're actually going to do the edit. So we're going to, we're going to create a new timeline. This is just 002. We'll just call it Stephanie. Stereo is fine. Empty track. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to create that. And then we're going to drag in this multi-camera into the timeline. So, and if we look at it here, so basically now that we're in this multi-camera view, and you can see here's where the camera dies. So, it's just so frustrating. So, but that's okay because it's the wide shot. So I don't necessarily need to have it, although it's really nice to have for the full show. And I got to do something with the refresh rate because I could see the bars on the TV. It's kind of interesting. You can kind of see it flowing there. So anyways, so what we want to do to edit this thing, let's do this for a second. Let's just up the audio height here a little bit so we could see this a little bit better. So we can see that it's all on camera 1 now, but if we hit this little button here, and if we go to multi-camera, this allows you that whenever you make a cut, it just makes a cut onto whatever angle you want. So there's camera 1, 2, and 3, and you can just use the keyboard 1, 2, and 3. So as an example, and we want to hear cut, this is cut the video and audio or just the video only, which is what we want, or just the audio. But we want to cut just the video, and we're going to leave the audio alone. So as it's playing, I can hit 2, and then it cuts to camera 2, and then here I can hit 3, cuts to camera 3. And basically when I'm editing, I'll just play it, usually maybe on 2 times speed or what have you. And then I'll just do my cuts, and then you can go in and adjust later. So I could zoom in here on these cuts, and I could say, okay, I didn't want this cut to happen here. I could go here and I could drag it and I could move it around. So it's pretty neat. And I also have the Davinci Resolve Speed Editor. So if you do lots of video editing, I would highly recommend getting it because it pairs really nicely with Davinci Resolve, obviously, because it's the Resolve Speed Editor. And it's really nice to have like a wheel or whatever to just kind of jog things and cut things super easy without having to use like your mouse and keyboard. So it's really, really nice. So highly recommended. Anyway, so that's like legit how we go about editing this, the podcast, at least the one that's going to be on the horizontal stuff. Doing clips for Instagram and all that kind of stuff, that's a different story. I'm still trying to figure that out. But what's really great about this is that when I'm making a cut here on the multi-camera clip, it's not cutting up any of the actual video clips themselves in their entirety. So what that means is if I go back to this multicam clip and I open it in timeline, you can see that these files, they stay the same. So when I want to go to say, well, this clip right here, Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because it's 4K and I'm putting this out there in like 1080, I'm going to go ahead and position it exactly kind of how I want, right? So I'm just probably, ooh, what am I going to do? No, that's too much here. Yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to make it a little bit off to the left or to the right. Like something like this, right? Whatever, I'll figure out my frame. And then what's great about this, I could even do like this too, so I can do some color correction as well. So I don't even know what I want to do with this. I mean, the color looks really good just out of the camera. So let's just say I want to just give a little bit more contrast. And maybe I want to warm it up a little bit. Whatever. I'm not doing the full edit now, but just to kind of show you kind of what my process is like. Okay, so we go back to edit tab. So that's edited here. And if we go into, where do we go? Stohan, how are you doing? Welcome. Long time no see. Yeah, I know. It's been a little bit of a while from, well, I mean, I'm still going every Mondays, but not every day, which kind of sucks. But great to see you here. How you doing? Hopefully all is going well. And we'll just do something here real quick here. Well, we'll just edit me here. Move me along. Something. Oh, geez. Need to zoom in much more than that. What's my head doing? Looking a little awkward there. Okay. All right. So we have that. We'll turn that back on. And then when we go back to the actual edit, so this is our timeline, you can see now that everything is just edited here. So instead of cutting it up and then editing multiple little clips or what have you, or color grading every single clip that we're going to have, because there's going to be like hundreds and hundreds of cuts through this whole episode, that you just have to do it in one place. So setting up this multicam is basically like essential. So if you're doing anything with more than one camera angle, definitely put it in a multicam clip, because it'll make your life 100 times easier and faster. This already takes a long time to do, especially if you're listening to the whole episode in like one sitting and you're editing or whatever. Like if it's a 2-hour episode, like it took me like 6 hours to edit the first one. So it took a long time. Once I get my process refined, I'm sure it'll go faster, but it's still, you have to listen to it. You have to get the right cuts. Then you have to put them exactly where you want, all that jazz. So good to hear that you're doing well. Good. Awesome. Yeah, so that's the process there. There's a couple things that are very weird, and I wonder if you guys would have any opinions on this or to know exactly what to do about this. But let's just talk about audio here for a second. So one thing that's a little bit strange is you can only really have one audio here in this multicam clip. So generally what I do is I'll drag in the audio from like the actual audio, and actually I'll put it in, well, what's the best way to go? I'll probably just drag it into here and then also drag it in here, and we'll line that up. So the reason I want to do that is, well, again, here we'll show this in a second. Okay, so what I can do here is I'm going to right click on the audio wave file, and I think I can change the angle, right? So I'm going to change the angle, and I think it's camera 4 for one of the audios. So it's going to change the audio. Here, might take a second here too. Yeah. Okay, so this is a new audio file, or it's this one here actually. So like when we play,
Takes my approach a little bit more. Kim would tell you everything is her fault, and she's never even met you.
Yeah, so that's the audio that's playing. That's from her mic. And what we're going to do is we're going to align that mic with this one. Okay. The reason I do this, sorry, you'll see this in a moment here as to like why I want to do it this way. Let's zoom this up a little bit. Okay. We got to go somewhere around here. I wonder if it'll auto align based on the waveforms. Let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit of an issue. I don't know why. That's okay. Let's just up this here for a second. This should be the exact same waveform. Why does it look different? Maybe, I think maybe because it's this one. Right. So let's undo that one. Yeah, it's these two waveforms. Okay, so let's just try to align these. Oh, they already look pretty much aligned. Okay. So, I'm going to switch this thing here. Again, where are we going? Switch, yeah. Put this on camera 2. Okay. So let's up the volume here. Okay. So this is what is really, really weird, and I don't know what to do about this, and has something to do with, I don't know, audio delay or whatever. But, okay, so let's just listen here.
I'm not getting into like your structure and your plumbing. I do with the electrician stuff because I actually have like a really crazy fear of fire.
Okay. So the sound there is pretty much in sync. You're hearing this audio here is from the camera itself, and then this audio is from the microphones. But if we go towards the end, it's going to be out of sync a little bit.
Versus running your business.
Yeah.
That, like, what's the difference between a meeting and a gathering? And I would stretch that wording all the way.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. So then in this...
So I don't know if you guys hear that, but it's off by like a second or two between this one and the other one. So let's see if I can turn up even more so you can kind of catch that.
No, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. So then in this context, if I was to say, like, if other people wanted to record a podcast, then even that it's...
So basically over time, for whatever reason, it starts to drift and it gets out of sync. And I don't know why it's happening, except for the fact that, yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know why it does that. It's, at first I was thinking maybe it's because sound and how far sound travels from the camera to the mic, but it should be relative. If it's offset by half a second at the start, it should be offset by half a second at the end, but it's not. So it's really, really strange. So I really have no idea what's going on. So the only thing that I know to do, which is what has worked for me, is I basically take this audio and I go change clip speed and I put it at 100.01 or something really, really small. And it changes it just enough to like reset it so that it aligns with the audio.
One thing that I'm having a little bit of difficulty wrapping my
Now you can hear that it's aligned more at the end. Well, this is more, yeah, it's more at the end. So now it's aligned.
How do I structure, like, because I want to...
So, and you're hearing a little echo because this one here hasn't been stretched out. Actually, I could stretch this out right now. Change clip speed.
Pivot a little bit of what my business is doing because I'm doing web...
Right. So there. So I don't know if you hear that, but everything's just, yeah.
That I can figure out how I can grow. So maybe...
2020 I still have, but I do it.
Yeah, and everything's fine. So it's very strange. I don't know what's going on there, but that's what I do to make sure that it's offset or that I fix the offsetting. Really strange. I don't know what's going on there. I've been looking on forums. Maybe I haven't asked ChatGPT yet, so maybe Chat knows what's going on there. But for anything that's over like 20 minutes long, it starts to just drift more and more out of sync. And I don't know why. I don't know if it has to do with like the frame rates of the camera and how the camera is recording audio versus how the Rodecaster and the mics themselves are recording the audio, and if it's doing it differently because of the bit rates. I have absolutely no idea. So if anybody out there knows what's going on, please leave me a comment because I would really love to know how to fix this thing in the actual hardware itself so I don't have to do it in the software afterwards. So everything's just aligned perfectly. I was thinking maybe if I take the audio from the Rodecaster and stick it directly into the camera, and then the camera would record that audio as opposed to the audio just from its own internal microphone. But then I worry if that might get out of sync. I don't know. It's really, it's just very, very strange. And I don't know what's going on. So, and basically what I do with this one is I could just mute this audio track. And then as I'm going on editing, I'm listening to the real volume, right? Or the real audio. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it. That's how the setup is. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I need to do. One of the things that I usually do first is, when I go into here and I open this up in the timeline, I usually do the edits first in terms of getting the zoom right and the kind of the framing that I want. And then I go ahead and do the color correction, and then I do the editing. So as I'm looking at the edit, then it looks kind of like the final version. So, but it's pretty easy to do once you have it in this kind of multicam clip. So, which is nice. So this thing here, I don't even think I even needed to bring this into this, but the only reason I did that is so that I could line it up nicely with the exact same waveform that I'm going to be using in the actual timeline. So that's why I did that. So this is still not looking quite right in terms of the proportions. It's kind of crappy because I have two different cameras with two different lenses. Sorry, I don't know, I'm doing like the peace sign here. So I have one that has a 35 mil and the other one has a 24 mil. So it gives a little bit of different perspective, but if you zoom in, it should still be the same because, it should still be the same anyways. But I'm trying to think of what else could be an issue. And I'm noticing that the cameras themselves, the image quality is a little bit different between the two cameras. So it's not, even though the settings are identical, the way that the sensor is or whatever the case may be, it's just a little bit different because they're two different cameras. One is a Sony a7C and the other one is an a7 IV. And I like the Sony a7C better for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because it's a newer camera or it's got a little bit of a different processing thing that happens internally, but I just find that I just like the image better. The a7 IV, it almost looks like the image is too sharp, which is kind of crazy. Really, really strange. So I think that's pretty much it. I mean, number one, I don't think you want to see me go through this whole edit to edit this this entire podcast. And number two, that would spoil all the fun of what the podcast is going to look like and the episodes that we're going to have for you starting next week, which is going to be super fun. So I got two of them here. This one will be edited. I'll finish this one tonight. This one we have, I don't know, can we bring it up? There we go. There's Mike just chilling, having a good time. So this one's kind of edited and ready to go. So yeah, I don't know. It's looking pretty good, and I just can't wait to unveil it here and for you guys to, have a listen and let me know what you think. So, and hopefully, I'm really hoping that it's going to be good. It's already been really good for me in terms of helping me figure out some things that I need to do to get my business where I want it to be. But I'm also hoping that it's going to be really good for entrepreneurs and especially new entrepreneurs that are trying to figure out how they can start their own business, and just to give them some advice and some tips from people that have kind of been there in what they think are, the most important things for them to think about when they're starting, or like they're giving advice to new people starting a business, what they think is the most important, which is, which I think is really good. So all that being said, does anyone have any thoughts or questions about Davinci Resolve from a couple of you guys here that are watching? Definitely do let me know. Because otherwise, I do believe I'm going to probably just keep on editing the podcast. Because it's going to take me the rest of the day probably to get it finished. And then, of course, doing the same thing in vertical mode when we want to get clips for like Instagram and I guess maybe not so much Twitter, but Instagram and TikTok, I guess. Is TikTok still banned in the United States? I haven't even really been following as what's been going on in terms of TikTok and being banned. Was it banned for 12 hours or only 24 hours? Or Is it still full on banned? I have no idea. I'm so not into following what's going on in that regards. Especially since I'm not on TikTok and I can't really stand TikTok, but something that I should probably be doing to try to get some more traction. Or maybe just try to focus on YouTube and Instagram, focus on what I'm good at. But anyways, that's maybe another question for another day. All right, Kevin Stohan, thank you so much for joining and saying hello. Really appreciate you guys stopping by. Yeah, means a lot to me. Means a lot to me. All right, so I'm going to sign off here for today. Thank you again for joining. Hopefully you learned something here about DaVinci Resolve. And again, if you have any ideas or thoughts on audio syncing large files and why they get out of sync from what your video records to what like the Rodecaster records, please do let me know because I would love to figure out how to fix that problem. All right, guys, take care and we'll see you here. Like, have a great rest of your week. So we'll see you here again next Monday for the last podcast before we unveil the Unconventional Mindset podcast after that next live stream episode. I think that's what it is. I do appreciate that, but don't feel like you need to go out of your way to do any research for that. But I do appreciate that if you do find anything, just if you're casually looking or whatever. But please don't spend too much time. I probably have more important things to do than to help me out. But I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. See you. Take care and have a great week. And yeah, it is useful to know for sure. Definitely, because it's a very strange thing. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you here for a new live stream on Monday. All right, take care.